White can play it to Saka. Promising goal!
Arsenal, a name that once echoed with dominance. A club that once terrified rivals across England and Europe, was fading. Not suddenly, not dramatically, but slowly, quietly, inexorably. A team built on elegance and identity was now trapped between eras. The stadium was full, the badge still gleaming, but the belief was gone. Fans whispered in fear. Was this the end of Arsenal's glory? Had one of England's greatest clubs lost its soul? Managers came and went. Strategies changed each season. And every quick fix seemed to bring more questions than answers. And then, almost silently, almost unnoticed, a new chapter began. A young manager, untested at this level, arrived at the club. Mikel Arteta. No trophies. No headline-making signings. No instant solution. What he brought was something rarer. Belief. Process. Patience. From day one, he saw what others overlooked. Arsenal's problem wasn't just tactics. It was culture. Standards had slipped. Responsibility was optional. Talent existed, but accountability didn't. And that's when the quiet work began. The work no one saw on social media. No one praised in headlines. But the work that would slowly rebuild a football giant from the inside out. This isn't a story of overnight success. This is the story of a revival. A methodical, careful, almost surgical transformation. And by the end, Arsenal wouldn't just compete again. They would demand respect. Not long ago, Arsenal felt lost. The stadium was still full. The badge still famous. But the belief was gone. For years, Arsenal existed in a limbo between eras. No longer dominant, but not truly rebuilding either. Managers came and went. Styles changed every season. Promises were made and broken. And slowly, the fear crept in. Maybe this club's best days were over. When Arsene Wenger left, he didn't just leave a job behind. He left a vacuum. For over 2 decades, Wenger was the identity. The football, the philosophy, the patience. When he was gone, Arsenal didn't know who they were anymore. They chased quick solutions. Short-term fixes. Names instead of plans. And every time pressure arrived, the team folded. Then, quietly, almost without excitement, Mikel Arteta arrived. Not as a legend, not as a proven manager, but as a risk. To many fans, it felt like gambling with the club's future. No major trophies. No experience rebuilding a giant. Just one line on his resume, assistant coach at Manchester City. But Arsenal weren't hiring experience. They were hiring belief in a process. From day one, Arteta saw the real problem. It wasn't just tactical. It was cultural. Players trained without urgency. Standards were unclear. Accountability was optional. Talent existed, but responsibility didn't. So Arteta did something unpopular. He raised the standards and refused to lower them. Big names were dropped. Some players were sold. Others were frozen out completely. Not because of ability, but because of attitude. Every training session mattered. Every detail mattered. Every action had consequences. At first, results didn't improve. Losses came. Mistakes continued. Fans grew impatient. And yet, Arteta didn't change direction. Instead of chasing wins, he chased habits. How players pressed. How they reacted after losing the ball. How they behaved when things went wrong. Slowly, very slowly, the team began to change. Recruitment followed the same idea. No more panic signings. No more short-term thinking. Arsenal targeted players who fit the system. Technically, mentally, emotionally. Young players willing to grow. Leaders willing to learn. Personalities that matched the culture. Bukayo Saka became the face of the new Arsenal. Not because of noise, but because of consistency. Martin Odegaard brought calm and control. William Saliba brought authority. The team stopped fearing big moments. On the pitch, the transformation was gradual. Arsenal learned how to build under pressure, how to keep the ball without forcing it, how to stay compact without retreating. Arteta didn't copy Guardiola. He adapted the ideas. Control over chaos. Structure over panic. Patience over impulse. Still, success didn't arrive immediately. A title challenge slipped away. Inexperience showed. Mistakes were punished. But something important didn't break. Belief. Instead of collapsing, Arsenal absorbed the pain. Losses became lessons. Pressure became preparation. The following season, the difference was clear. This wasn't a hopeful team anymore. This was a team that expected to compete. Matches felt controlled. Moments felt rehearsed. Confidence replaced fear. Opponents no longer waited for Arsenal to make mistakes. They had to force them. That alone changed everything. What makes Arteta's rebuild special isn't just progress. It's sustainability. This Arsenal isn't built around one superstar. It's built around an idea. Every player understands their role. Every movement has purpose. Every decision serves the system. And that's why the revival feels real. Because it didn't happen overnight. It wasn't bought. It wasn't rushed. It was built. Arteta didn't revive Arsenal by changing everything at once. He revived them by changing what mattered first. Standards, belief, identity. The pre-Arteta era left scars. Fans were tired of promises. The stadium echoed with nostalgia for a past that would never return. And every loss reminded them how far Arsenal had fallen. Arteta knew he had to manage not just players, but expectations. He needed to heal the culture, change the mindset, and slowly retrain the collective memory of a club. This wasn't easy. Leaders were tested. Young players had to adapt quickly. Mistakes carried weight, but lessons carried more. The Arteta Arsenal started believing again. A draw against a big rival felt like progress. A clean sheet felt like a victory. Every small step reinforced a new standard. By the next season, the transformation was visible. The team pressed higher, played faster. Decisions were sharper. The fear of failure gave way to calculated risk. Arsenal became a team capable of controlling games without needing moments of genius. Structure replaced chaos. Intelligence replaced panic. And still, the journey isn't finished. Every match is another test. Every season another step. The process is ongoing. But for the first time in a decade, fans can believe. And players can act. The club has regained a sense of identity. If you enjoy calm football storytelling like this, where context matters more than hype, take a moment to let me know what you think. Leave a comment, hit like, and subscribe to stay on top of football stories that slow the game down and explain why football changes. Because football is never just about trophies. It's always about the process behind them.